Hello, Meoni here, and if you know anything about my usual videos, you'd know that I'm into a whole range of different sort of games. One particular sort of game that I'm really into is space simulation, and sort of like the exploration side of any space game. There hasn't really been many good space games in the last 10 years or so, but up until now we've got Elite Dangerous obviously, and Star Citizen is in the on the horizon rather for the next couple of years. We're looking forward to testing some more of that stuff, especially here on the channel. But I thought I'd hop back into Elite Dangerous. It's been a while since I did a video on it, and this is comprised of a few older clips actually in places, but this is about my trip to the Galactic Center. Now, at the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, there is theorized to be a supermassive black hole, and in Elite Dangerous you can actually go and visit this black hole, as well as actually a few other black holes that are registered along the way, such as the Great Annihilators, which we'll be looking at as well in this video. But without further ado, I thought I'd hop straight in. Obviously I'm going to be talking over footage that I recorded because, this whole trip took in total 2 weeks of, only playing Elite Dangerous, pretty much, on and off, of course, to actually be able to do this. Now, I set out from one of the outer rim areas of the Galactic Empire stuff, and we set out quite a while ago now, and this is sort of what it looks like as you get closer to the Galactic Center, or at least what Elite Dangerous thinks it'll look like when you get towards the Galactic Center. So here we are. This is the actual jump in to the Great Annihilator. This is a very, very long way away from Sol, and we'll show you just how far away this is. But this is one of the last sort of legs of the journey, and honestly, the shock you get when you see this is particularly overwhelming, because you're obviously trying to slow down the ship, and then suddenly you see this massive black hole. And in fact, in the top left, you can kind of see what I presume is the other one. Now, the thing about the Great Annihilator is that it's actually two black holes in a system of, well, there's actually planets and things as well, but we're going to scan this and have a look at the map in a moment. But this is just, it's really weird. The whole screen is twisted, you try and move the screen, and it moves with you. Look, it's crazy. And yeah, as much as it's crazy, there's some food for thought on this system in particular. Now, you're actually seeing two black holes. The first one is, I believe that it's slightly greater mass than the other. I think it's 80 solar masses, which is pretty record-breaking in terms of black holes that you can find in the game, other than obviously the big Sagittarius A black hole. But it's particularly enormous. Look, as you move down here, your vision is blurred. Now, it's anyone's guess what a black hole would honestly look like at this distance. I mean, we're pretty damn close to this right now. This black hole, and indeed this system in particular, is 2,000 light years only from the actual galactic center, so it's not that far away from, in reality speaking, real terms, it's not that far from the galactic core itself in Sagittarius A. And here we go. Look, we've got basically we've got 8 bodies here. We have what we got here. We've got the Great Annihilator A and Great Annihilator B, which I haven't scanned yet, but as you can see, people have already discovered these. We've got a high metal content planet around one of these stars over here. We've got 8 bodies in total, so we've got Great Annihilator A and B. We've got 2 main sequence stars, 3 T-class Tauri stars, and obviously this high metal content planet. 60 solar masses, though, for Great Annihilator B. Absolutely just... It's very hard to comprehend scale in this game. It really is. And there's not really any real way of doing it, because when you teleport into a place, or, you jump out into a place, you're right next to it, and, it fills your screen, for example, but it doesn't really show you, what the size of these things is. So here we are, there's the Sagittarius A destination that we've got. We've travelled so far, very far, but we're getting closer. Now, the density of stars in this region causes some significant problems with any computer with the actual main map. Now, it drops down to about 2 frames per second when you try and plot courses with all the stars listed. So the way that you do it is you turn off pretty much all of the stars apart from your main sequence ones and just go like that. It's particularly hard to navigate. It's like navigating a very laggy, possible crash-worthy minefield. But the beauty of this game is if you do crash somewhere safe, you will log in where you crashed, or at least a safe place nearby, closest that it can get you to that area. So obviously you want to be extra special careful. You've also got fuel concerns, so you need to fuel scoop. You need to make sure you don't go into a briar patch, you know, a place where there's brown dwarfs where you can't scoop. It's a lot of planning, and it was a lot of work to actually get out here, but it was a lot of fun. And I don't know if a lot of people will find this as fun as me, but I love the idea of exploring and just throwing yourself into the void. I would do it in real life if it was possible. So here we are. This is the final plotting to Sagittarius A. I've turned on like the realistic view of what these stars look like, their coloration, for example. As you can see, it is incredibly dense out here. I've already got the course plotted so we can have a look. Look at how ridiculous this is. We're currently up to, I think it's 27,000 light years from Earth. And it's been a very long journey. Like I say, this took about, I'd say about 7 days to get out here, and then another 7 to get back, of just me solid playing and just, you know, listening to music and watching videos on the other screen and just plowing through. Now, I've got a lot of scientific data from this. I have been scanning stuff on the way, but there you go. Look, this is the core of the galaxy. This is a moment that honestly I'm not sure I'm prepared for, but everything has been leading up to this as we're next to this yellow M-class star here. And we'll just set our course for the... oh my god, if this is actually going to work. There we go. We'll set our course for Sagittarius A, and we'll make our way there. We're going to turn up the volume a little bit so we can hear the engine, basically. This is going to be a momentous moment, and I'm not sure whether to be quiet for it or... Actually, no, I know exactly what to do for this. So, as we approach, gonna get some random fuel as we go. We're okay for fuel. We've stocked up well and proper on this, but this is the final voyage. Who knows what lies beyond this jump? Well, apart from a giant supermassive black hole. But let's hope we survive the journey as we jump into the unknown. The cosmos extends, for all practical purposes, forever. After a brief sedentary hiatus, we are resuming our ancient nomadic way of life. Our remote descendants, safely arrayed on many worlds throughout the solar system and beyond, will be unified by their common heritage, by their regard for their home planet, and by the knowledge that, whatever other life there may be, the only humans in all the universe come from Earth. They will gaze up and strain to find the blue dot in their skies. They will love it no less for its obscurity and fragility. They will marvel at how vulnerable the repository of all of our potential once was, how perilous our infancy, how humble our beginnings, how many rivers we had to cross before we found our way. So that was a quote there from Pale Blue Dot, obviously by Carl Sagan, and I could think of no better sort of thing to say, really. It's almost as if, I mean, obviously I'm not here in reality, and this would probably be completely impossible, and we're talking, you know, it's a video game at the end of the day, but the availability to go pretty much anywhere you want in the galaxy, or at least it's updated to what we know is the galaxy, or what we can observe, is truly fantastic. Elite Dangerous has really pushed the boundaries of what, you know, theoretical science can achieve in terms of exploration. This is possibly what, you know, a fraction of what we might discover if we were to ever go out this far. You know, in a million generations, we'll probably never get to go to the center of the galaxy. That's why this is important, even if, you know, it's based off of complete science fiction. Science fiction usually is based on, you know, guesses, you know, in theories, and eventually a lot of those theories become proved false or true. You know, it's a science in itself. This is more than just a game. This is a way of exploring what could be and altering it as we go along to what it actually is. If we look back at Sol here, like, this is pretty much all we know. This is 26,000 light years away from my current position in the galaxy. We know of maybe, I don't know, 100 light years around us, like, for sure what's there. And even then, we haven't gone to anywhere outside of our own solar system. Humanity is yet to venture to any significant location. We are such a small, pale blue dot, literally. And it's truly phenomenal to be able to do this. At the time when I was playing, it felt like more than just a victory to get here. It was truly just overwhelming, the idea that, yes, a few of the, you know, the visual representations of this, you know, perhaps could do with a few refinements, and you really can't gauge any kind of scale here at Sagittarius A. It looks absolutely fantastic, and it looks a little bit like a funnel, sort of like a 2D funnel on a different plane of existence. And around here, look, the circumference of this big black circle, you see all these stars sort of bending around it. You know, it's truly mind-boggling. But then again, what would it actually look like? Is this any different than what we can even possibly imagine? It's based on a lot of, you know, real theories. It's and no one can ever say for sure what it will be like until we eventually see a black hole, you know, if that's even possible, or get close to one. Considering the theories, if you've watched Interstellar, about, you know, time dilation, for example, maybe it will never be possible. Who knows? But to truly be able to do this in a video game and be called a video game, yet on the side still have all of the, you know, the combat, the trading, and all of the other things that make the game, and then the exploration side to simply be, here you go, you've outfitted a really cool Explorer Asp, now go and scoop stars and spend a week just flying in one direction, and this is your reward. Your reward is, some might say, quite small. In my opinion, to see this and to see what could be, or at least, you know, be in a place where you could imagine what it might be like, is just phenomenal. Like, look at this night sky. This is what the sky would look like towards the center of the galaxy. That is based on, you know, real theory, because, you know, it's a lot denser. We have stars within less than a light year of each other here. We have stars that are colliding. We have such early stages of development of the galaxy that things are so much closer together. So the sky would be, you know, orange or yellow from the light pollution, as if you were near a town in a country, you know, and you look towards the town, and in the sky all you see is light pollution from the streetlights. You know, there's a place around where I live that's exactly like that. It is truly phenomenal. But anyway, back onto, you know, what we're looking at here. This is a supermassive black hole. It's absolutely stunning, and I'm trying to get some decent shots of it, but it's quite difficult, as obviously I can't maneuver around it. It's you know, theoretically going to take me weeks to be able to move at slow speeds around this thing. But it's truly, it's just incredible, really, isn't it? It serves literally no purpose other than to come and have a look at, like a tourist. But it's still, nonetheless, super important to have in the game, in my opinion. So now we've finished being a bit of a tourist. It is sad to say, but it is time to make our journey back. You know, the voyage is going to be very long. It takes, again, like I said, about another 7 days to get back. I was fairly eager to get back, but at the same time, I wasn't, like, super, you know, eager to leave what I just discovered. I made sure that I did my scans. I got all of the footage that realistically I could of a black hole. It's a phenomenal thing, like I've said a million times, but at the same time, you know, there's very little else I can do here, and the data I have is worth quite a bit. I'm not sure what at this point in the game, but we're definitely going to see how much data is worth. The reason exploration, that you should get into exploration, is not for the monetary value. The credits value is extremely low in comparison to other things that you could do. Obviously, combat is going to get you the most from hunting bounties. You're going to get a lot for doing trading. Exploration is probably the lowest on that list. But if you spend long enough doing it and scan enough things, then you might be able to get some decent credits. So we're going to take one last look at the black hole here whilst we're charging up to go into Super Cruise. There it is. We've already travelled quite a distance. And there we go. We're away. And there's a little bit of a graphical glitch there from transition. So now we're looking at some of the stuff that I found along the way. Now this is an interesting one. This is a gas giant, a Jovian. But the interesting thing about this Jovian is one side of it, this is tidally locked by the way, to the sun. One side of it is bright red, the other is completely phosphorus green. Now I'm trying to figure out if this is just, a graphical problem or like a random generation problem. But as you can see, it is absolutely stunning green on this side, like completely stunning green. Like there's nothing in there, no cloud layers or anything, apart from obviously the 3D representation there on my HUD showing that it has bands like Jupiter. It's quite clearly just, well, a gas giant. It's made of a solid, like marble-like glass colour of green. It's very hard to describe, isn't it? But as you can see, when the sunrise comes, hopefully I'm going to get this on camera, I'd like to show you how quickly it changes from just being completely green to being the reddest planet you've ever seen in your life. Now, obviously, this is to do with light, perhaps, hitting the surface of whatever this is made of. But the other side, as you can see, it just transitioned into it, is just solid red, facing the sun at all times. Now, I'm not sure, again, if this is a graphical thing, but it's absolutely just incredible. I couldn't believe it. There's a bit of a band there, as you can see. But, like I say, this is tidally locked to the sun, and if you know what's happening here, leave a comment in the comment section if this would actually theoretically happen. Would it really drastically be that different of a colour on the other side, and how was I able to see that colour on the dark side of this planet? The only other light source was, well, it wasn't another light source. It's very unusual. I like it, but I'm not sure that the game is actually rendering it properly, which is why I thought I'd point it out anyway. Yeah, if you'd like to go visit this place, I'll put it up on screen now, actually, so you can actually go and have a bit of an exploration for yourself. But I've not actually seen a gas giant like this one yet, in all the travels that I've done, all of the distance that I've travelled. It's truly stunning, but at the same time, I'm not sure it should be doing that. We will come back to more stuff that I found in a moment, but I thought I'd show the last part. This is where I was absolutely, well, frankly, knackered after the journey, honestly. It took a lot of real-life time out of what I would usually do. And, yeah, it's all came into, basically, in Glusklab here at Van Houten Terminal. This is where I decided the Empire Group side that I would dock and sell my data. Now, in theory, I should have sold my data at multiple stations so I could gain some ranks, but I really couldn't be bothered at that time. I just wanted to dock safely and get rid of all of this precious data. As you can see, I managed to do the whole journey with 93% hull, and that's all it went down to. I was very pleased with myself. At this point, I was a little bit sort of skittish because I couldn't remember how to fly properly. After you've been out of space dock for so long, you do honestly forget how fast you can go into these stations and how quickly you can just blow up by hitting something accidentally. So forgive the landing being a little bit shoddy here and there. I'm being really overly cautious here, as you can see. But there we go. Mission success, or at least, to some extent. Van Houten Terminal here in Glusklab. Weird place, I know, but the data is what we're going to be looking at next. So obviously we're going to get ourselves in the station so that if there is any NPC ships or whatever that want to, destroy my ship on the landing platform, they're not going to be able to now. This is going to be a very long process, but we're going to go straight to it. As you can see, I've got 10 million here, 10,800,000. So we're going to actually tally this up and calculate exactly how much I'm making. So first things first, let's get a calculator on the go, and we're going to be adding this up in real time. We're going to put in exactly how much money I've got, and then obviously we're going to add up to that. Or at least remember how much we started with and calculate it afterwards. So yeah, over 10,829,000. We're also going to take out, may as well, right, reload all of our repair kits, repair it and stuff. So we're still going to have 10,800,000. It doesn't really affect it too much. And then we're going to go over to Universal Cartographics and Cuva lag. Now, I've heard a lot of people have problems selling their data, especially when they've been on long journeys like this. As you can see, the standby loading screen is going to be something that we see a lot of. Obviously, I'm going to cut a lot of this out, but for the first page, I thought I'd show you exactly how long and how tedious the process is. This is something that the devs hope to improve in the future, but for now, this is what you have to deal with. Now, you can sell the pages. There used to be a bug on the game where if you tried to sell an entire page at once, you would actually not, it would crash the game essentially and you'd lose your data. That doesn't happen anymore. Thankfully, the game is stable enough for that to not be a problem. As you can see, the 158k there is just for scanning the 2 black holes in the Great Annihilator. It seems to be in no particular order. I thought it was in the furthest first, but it just seems to be in a very weird order. Sagittarius A is on there for 314k as well. So we earned 701,866, I think it was, or 86, for just that one page on its own. Now, obviously, they're not all going to be like that. Not every page is going to have black holes. But I did spend the majority of the week, actually. The reason it took me so long is I did a few all-nighters in the middle of the week, just scanning neutron stars. So we're going to see how many exactly credits we're going to get from just scanning neutron stars. Now, we should go up quite a bit, I would imagine. Neutron stars have a very good value. As you can see here, selling a page. This is the sort of lag that you have. Here we go. Congratulations, Commander Meoni. You were the first to discover whatever that is. That's weird, actually, having that bonus. There's only one there. We're up to 11.5 million already. And this is the second page. We've got some other systems over here. We're not going to bore you too much with this. I'm just going to skip on quite a bit and show you the end result. But I just thought I'd show you a few pages here. We've got 298 for this next page. And it goes on for quite some time like this. Until super jump cut. And here we are in the last page of selling here, 36,000 for this last page. And as you can see over there, we have 45.134 million credits. $7 billion. No, we've got quite a lot of money here. A lot more than I expected. A lot less than maybe you were thinking out there. It's not, like I say, not the most lucrative way of earning credits. You could have probably earned, quadruple that in the 2 weeks that I've been out there messing around with planets and stars and all the glorious exploration benefits of the game that I was talking about previously. But we earned 34.3 million credits. So 34,305,000 credits and 184 on the extra. But, it's fairly significant. That's a bit of a payday for me, considering I had about 15 million to my name, and now I've got 45.1 million, and the ship itself is worth about 10 million as well. So I've got about 50 million credits, pretty much. There's my rebuy cost of 700,000. We're actually up to Ranger rank. Now, if you're interested in the ranks, how they work, I have the wiki page here. As you can see, we need actually not many more things discovered to be able to get to the next rank here. But it's just one up above Pathfinder. We visited over 3,493 systems, etc. It's quite impressive. A lot more impressive than I thought it would be. My expectations for monetary value were a lot lower than what we achieved. So I'm happy either way. I'm happy because I actually did the trip, and I certainly recommend that you do too as well. It's sort of like a rite of passage to really, if you're into Elite Dangerous enough that you really enjoy this game, but a rite of passage for you to say I have completed this stage of the game is to actually go out to Sagittarius A and scan it for yourself, because I would definitely recommend it, and you can't gauge the scale and the immersion levels until you actually do it yourself. So I thought I'd show off a few of the Earth likes that I found. This one, as you can see, you get this really fancy first discovered by and then Meoni title here. This is going to stay for the rest of the time the game exists. That's one of the perks of exploration. You get your tag on things. We're going to type in a few other parts now. I mean, I've got a document over here where I wrote down some of the more interesting things. We're going to just look at Earth-likes for today, and if you're interested in more stuff that I discovered, I can upload another video. It's really gauging off what people think about the game. So here there's another system. This is where another Earth-like I found. Feel free to go and check these out. Like I say, I'm leaving the information on screen. I'm not sure why people on the exploration Reddit, for example, hide where things are. It doesn't make any sense to me. And surely you would go discover it and report it for yourself and then share it with people. That's the idea behind exploration. It's just greed to not do so. This actually has a few water worlds as well in this system in Dumbay, TYZ, and then there's a load of numbers. You can write that in yourself. But yeah, it's it has water-based life. Basically, it's interesting. There's quite a few of them. Like I say, a lot of them are habitable planets. It's surprising how many already have life. That's obviously not human life, but there are carbon-based life forms on some. I've found quite a lot of life. Here at Skrieko, or whatever you want to pronounce that, again, another core system. There's quite a lot of Earth-likes in these core areas, believe it or not, which is surprising. We've got the class M there. Inside here we've got what is this? Indigenous life. You see, look, that does this mean that this life is, like us, or what? They're humanoids? Can we ever in the future of the game have first contact with these species? 66% rock there, 34 metal, nitrogen, oxygen, atmosphere, literally like Earth, as close to Earth as you're going to get. There's a few disparities between nitrogen levels which could be fatal on some of these planets. I did notice that. But as a whole, a lot of them are, pretty much diamonds in the rough, really. This one's a little bit closer. This is, what is this, EOS 3 or whatever it wants to call itself. Inside this system we have another Earth-like, surprise, surprise, around one of these Class A stars, which I don't know how the night sky would look to that and how light would be changed. There's not really many continents on this. We've got volcanism, we've got indigenous life, carbon-based stuff, nitrogen, oxygen, and water. It's only 1.3% water, which is really surprising considering on the actual image and when I was up close to it, there was actually like virtually no continents. Does that mean that there is nitrogen-based liquid? Like, I'm confused how that works. Maybe if you know more than me, leave it in the comment section. I'm really interested in learning about what all of this data means. I'm just showing with you some of the more interesting sort of stuff that maybe people would find curious. This is 14,000 light years from our solar system. If it would let me click on the bloody thing. Oh my god. Oh my god. Really? Oh my god. Oh my god. Yay, finally. So here we go. There's the first planet closest to the sun, very close to the sun actually, is nitrogen, oxygen, atmosphere, indigenous, human carbon-based life. So this is a very interesting one again. 0.57 atmospheres. It's 296 Kelvin. The surface temperature. Get a nice tan if you went on that one. A bit like Riser in Star Trek, I would imagine, only a hell of a lot hotter. I mean, a lot of these probably wouldn't be habitable in theory if you were to, actually go into detail. But it's all, persistent generation. Here's another one. Another Earth-like, an outdoor world. Human-based, carbon-based, like atmosphere, indigenous life. We have 3.1% water on this one. 73% nitrogen, 23% oxygen. I believe that's breathable. It's not getting completely fried by the sun in this case, but it is a second planet away, so I don't really know. But yeah, feel free to write down some of these names and go and visit them if you're going to the core. What you could do is you could write down what I've listed you. That one was quite close, actually. and sort of like plot around that, you'd get some decent credits for it, as well as 2v, you know, this is the briar patch here. These briar patches are something you want to avoid. You want to try and go, as I've just done with my arrow, follow the galactic arm that we're on until it's dense enough that you can cross over into this section with all these nebulae. Now these nebulae are amazing. I would definitely recommend going and having a look at them. I didn't scan many of them. A lot of them have already been discovered, and there are some pretty cool proto-stars and stuff inside here. But I would definitely recommend going slightly north of this into this area, because this is pretty much neutron zone. This is where all your neutron stars are going to be. There's just an entire cluster of them if you change your filter settings, and they're worth a lot of money each. But yeah, pretty much, if that's what you're interested in, this is pretty much my guide, or my look at going to the Galactic Center. There are so many more hours of footage that I could include in this video, but we're already coming up on 30 minutes now. I think we're exceeding that, and I don't really want to make the video a couple of hours long. As you can see, I'm super stoked for the game. I want to see it develop even further. I want to see this game become something greater than it already is. We're going to get planetary landing at some point in the future, which is super hype. I'm looking forward to other games such as Star Citizen. You know, I've put quite a bit of money into that game. Hopefully, Star Citizen will have exploration, you know, maybe not on the same scale as this because it's ridiculous, but at the same time, to this sort of detail, maybe further. I'm really looking forward to a good, you know, couple of years now of space sims that I can really get behind. And you shouldn't side with one or the other. You should embrace all of them. That's all I have for you today, really, in terms of words of wisdom. But if you would like to see more Elite Dangerous content, Star Citizen content, and all sorts of things to do with that, leave a comment of what you want to see, and I will make it done. I will get it done for you, mate. So thank you very much for watching my video. My name has been Meoni of the Clismcast, where you're watching today. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Off to go and kill some people now in space. I need to kill people. I've been away for far too long. Charge the cannons.